Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Topping our newscast, St. Croix was all abuzz on Monday. The 42nd President of the United States, Bill Clinton, returned to the VI for the first time since his presidency to campaign for his wife Hillary. The former president hit certain key issues plaguing Virgin Islanders in a speech that sought to sway future Virgin Islands Democratic delegates. News 2's April Knight has that story.
An escalator to the future that's open to everyone. That's the pitch that former President Bill Clinton gave to a packed Island Center on St. Croix on Monday. The former president was in the territory to campaign for Hillary Clinton in her bid for the Democratic nomination.
Hillary believes the future of the world lies in building bridges, not walls, bridges that have security checks.
The former president went straight to issues close to the heart of the Virgin Islands, from high electric rates to the elephant in the room, the Virgin Islanders' right to vote for president.
Hillary strongly believes that we should do whatever is necessary to let people who are willing to serve this country and support it vote for President of the United States.
He also pointed out that the VI is suffering from the unequal distribution of health care funds, which he says is part of what sent Puerto Rico's economy down the drain. The former president also appealed to the older generation to care about climate change.
If you're with me, you should care about it. If you care about your children and grandchildren, you should care about it.
While Virgin Islanders still cannot vote for president, former President Clinton was appealing to a crowd that will produce 12 VI delegates to the Democratic National Convention in July. These 12 will have the ability to cast a vote for the nominee and can help solidify a win for Hillary Clinton, who, although she's leading Bernie Sanders in the delegate count, is not getting the landslide victory they were hoping for.
In the end, all that matters is whether people are better off when you quit than when you started. Whether children and young people have a brighter future, and whether we're coming together instead of being torn apart. If you want to answer a resounding yes to those three things, please support Hillary.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
As the Democrats rally behind their party, the Virgin Islands Republican Party won't be left behind in the headlines. The VI GOP leadership sent out a response ahead of the visit, as well as on the day of the rally on St. Croix, pointing flaws in the other party's picks, all while fighting their own in-party war. News 2's April Knight has more.
Not everyone is happy that Bill Clinton is in town. Republican State Chairman John Canegata sent out a response ahead of the former president's visit. Canegata pointed out what he called Hillary Clinton's record of dishonesty and hypocrisy, and made a thinly veiled reference to Bill Clinton's affair while in office. Canegata also pointed out Hillary Clinton's loss of 20 state contests to, quote, a 74-year-old socialist, referring to Bernie Sanders. The VI Republican Party is itself looking toward the upcoming Republican National Convention, where although Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee, VI Republicans will still be participating in the process.
It is understood that Donald Trump more likely will be the nomination, but the process still isn't over. We still have individuals who are pledged to Ted Cruz and one to Donald Trump, and they still have, to vote for those individuals. And we still have to vote like every other territory or state across.
But the torn VI GOP is still aggressively working out who gets to go to that convention. At least 19 of their members have signed on to a call for a local convention on May 28th, expressing a lack of confidence in Canegata's leadership. Vice Chairman Herbert Schoenbaum has since sent out a letter saying the May 28th convention will occur and they'll be electing a new chairman. Canegata's response was to the election system, warning election supervisor Carolyn Fox not to recognize what he called an illegitimate rump. For News 2, I'm April Knight.
And we will keep you updated on that May 28th gathering among VI Republicans. Meanwhile, the local Democratic caucus is scheduled for June 4th. Acting Chief Financial Officer of the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority, Maurice Sebastian, today testified before the Senate Finance Committee on Bill 31-0256. The bill, if approved, would amend Title 30 of the Virgin Islands Code as it relates to the interest rate paid by WAPA on customer deposits, requiring that WAPA pay interest on customer deposit at a rate equal to the average prevailing interest rate paid by the banks. Here's more.
We noted that the application of 4.75% interest to customer deposits is quite generous, and in today's financial market, banks, credit unions, and other financial institutions are not applying such a substantial rate of interest. The authority believes the proposed bill, which seeks to change the applicable interest on security deposit from $4.75% to the average prevailing interest rate paid by banks, is not only fair and equitable, but saves the ratepayers money. We are in full support of this legislation.
Senator Marvin Blyden said after being bombarded with calls from concerned tenants regarding letters received from their property management company, McCormack Barron Salazar Management, informing them of rent increase July 1st, a town hall meeting is planned. Residents of Lovinland 1 and 2, Amali Terrace, and Grand View Apartments 1 and 2 on St. Thomas should plan to attend. A tentative meeting is set for next Monday, May 23rd at the CAHS Auditorium at 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Once that date is confirmed, Senator Blyden will inform the public immediately. However, if you are on St. John, a town hall meeting is already set for this Wednesday, May 18th at 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the legislature for those residents in Calabash Boom and Bellevue. Turn our attention to police reports. Monday, May 16th at approximately 7:25 p.m., officers from the VIPD Traffic Bureau were dispatched to Moravian Highway adjacent to Niski Shopping Center regarding a report of a pedestrian being struck by a vehicle. Upon arrival to the scene, contact was made with the damaged vehicle and an unresponsive female victim lying on the northern side of the roadway. Here's more from VIPD.
Was later identified as 45-year-old Marina Estel Luciana Santana. Luciana Santana was pronounced dead on the scene by the emergency medical technicians. Preliminary investigations reveal that while the victim was crossing the Moravian Highway in the area of the Niski Center, she was struck by a vehicle that was traveling eastward. Investigators with the Traffic Investigations Bureau are continuing their investigation into this matter. I'm Glenn Drake, Public Information Officer for the VIPD.
And as we reported on Monday, the Department of Justice and the Department of Labor are going after more than $32 million in unpaid unemployment contributions from local employers. As a result, the government had to borrow some $69 million. But according to Hendry, not all of that was from the unpaid unemployment contributions. Here's more.
This is just one part of it. As the recession hit back in 2007, and how we had to make sure that our workers were being taken care of. 2012 was the closing of Hovensa Refinery, but it was also, we were knee-deep in the Great Recession. And what happened is we had borrowed in upwards of $89 million.
Turn our attention to the court. On May 16th, Clarence Griffin, 44 of LA, Robert Brown, 29 of St. Croix, pleaded guilty to conspiracy of possession of marijuana, and Jamila Felix, 29 of St. Thomas, pleaded guilty in federal court on St. Thomas to conspiracy to launder monetary instruments. Between 2012 and 2013, Griffin and Brown shipped barrels containing at least 700 kilograms of marijuana concealed in chow mein cans from LA to St. Thomas, utilizing a trucking service. Felix later deposited the proceeds into her bank account in St. Thomas and then wired it to Griffin and other members of the conspiracy in the U.S., according to the court. For the second week in a row, the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Health reported no new cases of Zika. According to the DOH's weekly Zika surveillance report, the total number of Zika cases this week remains at 21, with 15 cases in St. Croix, 1 case in St. John, and 5 on St. Thomas. To date, 601 pregnant women in the USVI have been tested for Zika, and 3 were confirmed positive. Although the number of confirmed Zika cases has remained steady over the past couple of weeks, We must remain diligent and continue to protect ourselves, our family, and future generations from the virus. And that's the message from Commissioner nominee Dr. Michelle Davis. Commissioner Davis, meanwhile, and the Department of Health announces that Nicole Tyson is now the new Director of Public Relations. Ms. Tyson holds a bachelor's degree in mass communications with minors of journalism and business. Ms. Tyson's professional career has granted her the opportunity of gaining a variety of experience in the legislative, media, communication, and business fields. She offers a plethora of knowledge and years of experience in the researching and writing of key legislations, formalizing and executing subject matter campaigns to include forums, town hall meetings, and a U.S. mainland expedition tour, and various community relations activities. We'll turn our attention overseas. Hillary Clinton is changing her ways, at least when it comes to spending. The Democratic frontrunner launched both TV and radio ads and sent staffers to Kentucky with one goal: stop the momentum of Bernie Sanders' campaign. Mary Maloney reports.
Hillary Clinton pulling out all the stops for a win in Kentucky, even arriving early to an event, something that rarely happens on the campaign trail. At an earlier rally, the Democratic frontrunner impersonated the presumptive Republican nominee, Donald Trump.
I'm going to create them. They're going to be great. I know how to do it.
And in another crowd-pleasing move, Clinton announced, if elected, she will put the former president to work.
My husband, who I'm going to put in charge of revitalizing the economy, because, you know, he knows how to do it.
But stopped short of saying he will formally be part of her administration.
Would he be in your cabinet?
Clinton needs 140 delegates to secure the Democratic nomination. That's only 16% of the remaining delegates. Bernie Sanders needs to win 102%, which won't happen unless some superdelegates change their minds. But some Sanders supporters won't accept that negative outlook. This weekend, chaos erupted at the Nevada Democratic Convention. Sanders supporters booing the process, claiming it was fixed. They shouted, even hurled chairs. The convention shut down early, and in the end, Clinton came away with more delegates. The Sanders campaign says supporters have been energized. The candidate hoping to inspire more voters at a Puerto Rican event by speaking Spanish.
El pueblo de Puerto Rico es más importante.
While attempting to prove he's better than the other person on the Democratic ticket. I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Meanwhile, we hear more from Sanders in Puerto Rico.
The political status of Puerto Rico must be determined by the Puerto Rican people. And my answer is that I believe that there should be a binding referendum. And if I'm elected president, that referendum will take place the first year of my administration for people to determine, not for me to determine, for you to determine. Some people I know want statehood. Some people want independence. Some people want something else. But that is a decision to be made by the people of Puerto Rico. And I'll tell you something else. No matter what that decision is, clearly I think there needs to be a new relationship between the federal government and Puerto Rico with much more respect.
Meanwhile, keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. According to the numbers there, everything down. The Dow 180, NASDAQ 59, S&P 500 down 19. Coming up on News 2, just a reminder, good news to those who still prefer to pay cash, their bills with cash. On Monday, Innovative began opening one cashier window at each of its business office locations. Welcome back. Good news to those who still prefer to pay their bills with cash. Just a reminder, on Monday, Innovative began opening one cashier window at each of its business office locations to accept cash payments. The hours of operation is from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The option to pay at the cashier window will last 4 to 6 months as the company works on installing cash kiosks at each of the business offices. The innovative business offices are located at Estate Diamond in St. Croix, Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, and Marketplace in St. John. The Order of St. John of Jerusalem, Knights Hospitalier, Malta, they held a successful fundraiser for the St. Croix branch of My Brother's Workshop in early April and presented the group with a $10,000 check to help continue the growth of the program. My Brother's Workshop, as you know, founded in 2007 by Scott Bradley, has helped over 500 youth find paid on-the-job training and job placement. The Order of St. John of Jerusalem, Knights Hospitaller, Malta is one of the oldest orders of chivalry in existence today, with its origin dating back to the Middle Ages. UVI announces the winning students of the 5th annual UVI Research Day that was held in April on the St. Thomas and St. Croix campuses. It was an open forum for students, faculty, and staff to discuss a myriad of topics. Each research presentation involved discussion and a poster display. Janique Nicholas emerged as the winner on St. Croix. Nicholas presented antioxidant activity in fresh herbs. Zola Roper was named the winner on the St. Thomas campus. Roper examined the Elysia crispate, the lettuce sea slug. Graduate Student Award winner Sarah Groves presented the study Physical Drivers of Community Structure and Growth of Mesophotic Coral Ecosystems Surrounding St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. Each winner will be presented with a $500 award. Congratulations to the students. Virgin Islands Department of Education's St. Thomas St. John District Office of the Insular Superintendent is notifying parents of the early dismissal of all public school on Thursday, May 26th. So put that on your calendar. Those are the times listed for the schools right there. Dismissals, they say, will take place 3 hours before normal release times, and they are necessary to accommodate monthly job-embedded professional development for teachers. Lunch will be served before students are released, and buses will be dispatched to schools to transport students to their normal drop-off locations. School will resume at a normal time on Friday, May 27th. The Virgin Islands Department of Education, St. Thomas St. John District as well, they're inviting the public to its annual STEAM, which is Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics Fair. Now that began today, Tuesday, May 17th. It runs through Friday, May 20th at the UVI Sports and Fitness Center. All events are free. Students showcase innovative ways to use technology and demonstrate fun, hands-on STEAM experiments. Now on Wednesday, May 18th, it's Science and Math Fair, grades 7 to 12. Then on Thursday, May 19th, STEAM Hands-On Day. That's from 4th to 6th graders. Now Friday, May 20th, it's Science and Math Fair from kindergarten to 6th grade. Be sure to go out and support the students. Congrats! The EPA honored 2 organizations from the USVI with Environmental Champion Awards for their achievements in protecting public health and the environment. EPA's Regional Administrator Judith Unk was joined by Murray Fisher, who is the founder of the New York Harbor School, to present the awards at a ceremony at the EPA's offices in Manhattan. The first one is Clean Sweep Frederiksted. They are a grassroots initiative with the mission to support the economic development and revitalization of the Frederiksted Historic District through the litter cleanups they've been doing. And over on St. John, the next one, Gift Hill School, that teaches environmental stewardship to students from preschool to 12th grade through gardening and nutrition education. The school also established an energy initiative that will save the school $1 million over 20 years. Well, approximately 300 of St. Thomas's public elementary and middle school students, they're getting set to enjoy International Capital and Management Company's 12th annual Student Hall of Hope, Celebrate Life Art Exhibition and Fun Day. That's on Wednesday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Reichel Center. There'll be lots of entertainment, musical entertainment for the students. Now created in 2005, the Student Hall of Hope, initiated and presented by ICMC, honors the artistic talents and creativity of Virgin Islands students, as each year they work with St. Thomas's Public School art teachers and administration. The students' artwork will also be proudly displayed after that in the main lobby of the Schneider Regional Medical Center, as well as in the Reichel Center's lobby during their upcoming family series. The Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture, the Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Patrol, in partnership with the UVI Cooperative Extension, will be hosting a meeting for all importers of fruits and vegetables. CBP representatives will be addressing current and future practices for procedures for importing fruits and vegetables into the territory. That meeting started tonight on St. Thomas at UVI at 6 p.m. But on St. Croix, it's going to be on Wednesday, May 18th at the UVI Research and Extension Center, room 133, again at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, a free workshop that is part of a program intended to assist livestock farmers who have been adversely affected by the 2014-2015 drought that resulted in decreased pasture and forage quality. That's coming up. The Virgin Islands Department of Agriculture, in conjunction with UVI's Cooperative Extension Service, they're conducting a pasture establishment and management workshop on the St. Croix campus May 19th at 7 p.m. All livestock producers are welcome and encouraged to attend. Details will be provided on the Livestock Farmer Pasture Reestablishment Program initiative to supply improved guinea grass, seed, and pasture establishment services to livestock farmers. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.